home flippers are about to get crushed.
Oh, man.
And listen, I know what you're thinking to yourself. You're thinking, I'm not a home flipper, but you want to definitely watch this video because this will benefit you as a home buyer. In my opinion, there will be a lot of inventory that will be coming up on the market because home flippers are in over their head. Now, where am I getting this information, this data? Now, you guys remember, I do provide financing on home flips, investment properties, commercial property. I do all of that. So I get a lot of this data from what I'm actually seeing in the market and what I'm doing, on top of looking at external resources to figure out this information. Let's first start off with the mom and pops home flippers. Home flipping rates rise, but investor profits are falling. Roughly 1 in 10 US homes sold during the first quarter of 2022 was flipped as investors responded to a strong demand from buyers, but profits on those deals fell to a 13-year low, a new report shows. Now, what am I seeing when it comes to home flippers? Home flippers, back in, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, but let's just use 6 months ago. 6 months ago, you were getting these nice, good rates. On top of that, you had demand shooting through the roof. You could have someone who is bad at being a house flipper. I mean, they put in all types of overpriced stuff inside of the house, didn't budget for the type of home flips, didn't even do comps. I mean, you could have one of the worst home flippers doing a home flip and they would come out making money. Listen to what I just said. You could have the worst home flipper do a home flip. He or she would still come out with making money. That's just what it was. That was the market 6 months, a year ago. People could do that because the demand was so high. You could overcharge individuals and they would pay it. But let's talk about today. Today is another story. Rates have risen. So now these home flippers are now paying higher interest rates. We do know some of them grabbed onto arms because they wanted the lowest rate that they possibly could get. So they went the arm rate. Some of them are in hard money, which is a loan that has higher interest rates with kind of like no strings attached when it comes to debt to income and etc. It is just solely based on the property itself. Now, we've had rates go up, up, and up. Now, these same individual home flippers are now paying extra money for holding costs. Not only that, but now we don't have the demand. That means now you're holding the property longer and now you're paying more interest on a loan. So that can start to cut into your profit. The report published by a real estate data analytics firm showed that 114,706 single-family homes and condos were flipped during the first quarter of the year, representing 9.6% of all transactions, period. That's up from 6.9% in the fourth quarter of 2021 and 4.9% in the first quarter of 2021. Despite the increase in flip rate, the return on investments for those deals fell to 25.8%, its lowest level since the first quarter of 2009 and down from 38.9% a year ago. Ooh, that's spicy, right? Whoa! But why is that, guys? Well, let's just do some small numbers here. We are starting to see individuals, especially flippers, who go in and get a home based off what the value will be after they fix up the property. It's called ARV, after repair value. Now, what does that mean? That means that someone will give you a loan at to 80 to 90% of the after repair value. We're gonna do $300,000 after repair value. So that's what the property will be worth. That's what they can sell it for after they fix up the property. So let's just do 90% of that. That's $270,000 that they can borrow on that property. So that leaves them $30,000 worth of profit. That's what they believe they can sell the property for. Let's say they take out that whole $270,000. They have to sell that property for a minimum of $270,000, probably less than when you add in all the expenses, but let's just use flat numbers here. $270,000 is what they're gonna have to sell the property for because that's what they owe on the property. What's happening is this: Miss Jenny Jackson, 33 years old, lists her 3-bedroom Las Vegas home for $465,000 earlier this summer. In March, her neighbor sold a comparable home for $485,000. Over the course of 35 days, she cut her price 3 times. She recently accepted an offer for about $405,000. That's what's happening with flippers, guys. Flippers are now coming to the grips, thinking to themselves,
oh man, this house now that I thought could sell at $300,000, it can now only sell for $210,000.
That's what's happening. So now they're taking a massive hits. Will there be some flippers who will survive this type of stuff? The good ones. The good ones, the ones who budget, the ones who have a procedure in place. They know exactly how much stuff has went up. They know how much to actually put in. They know exactly what's happening in the marketplace now. Not 6 months ago, but they know exactly what's happening in the marketplace day to day. Those will be the ones. But I'm here to tell you guys this: there's not a lot of flippers out there. There are a lot of flippers who jumped into the market right now because they saw a pretty penny. And they were right. They could go and sell, the worst flip that they possibly could do and still make money. But that time is over. And a lot of these individuals who have massive amounts of debt that are creeping up because of interest rates, that are over leveraged at this point, will go into foreclosure, guys. They will. And those properties will be back on the market sooner rather than later. And that is the reason why you see in this report that I'm going over that profits have went down. Return on these investments have went down almost 26%, guys. That is the reason why individuals are losing their heads, because they thought they could jump into a market, sell properties at a ridiculous price, and that this was going to last forever. It's over. And now flippers are understanding this will no longer fly. And now they're stuck with a bunch of over leveraged properties in their possession. And what do they have to do? They have to sell these properties or they will go into foreclosure. It really depends on each flipper and exactly where they are in their business. But there's one thing I know about this. This is a scenario that will not work out in the best interest of flippers that didn't treat home flipping as a business. That is what's going to happen. And then we have to talk about what a lot of flippers did not take into consideration. It says the swelling cost of goods and materials amid the supply chain disruption are also cutting into profits. The other practical reason is that foreclosure activity has been way down because of the government intervention. House flippers do not compete with would-be home buyers, he says, but plenty play a crucial role in the housing ecosystem by buying and fixing up distressed homes. So a lot of these home flippers did not take into consideration that prices will continue to go up, that inflation would affect the cost of goods, wood, supplies, labor. All of those things have shot up. Property taxes, insurance, all of those things have went up. And these guys did not put that into their projections or performance. But here, it doesn't stop with mom and pops, guys. It doesn't. The corporations that went on to buying sprees did the exact same thing. Can you believe that? Corporations went out here and bought up massive amounts of property. If you have been living underneath a rock, companies like Zillow, Opendoor, BlackRock have all went on shopping sprees to buy massive amounts of real estate, to buy them and jump into the rental game. And they've been using these quote unquote AI system to basically go around and find properties that they thought were gonna go up and that they could sell. And one group in particular I'm going to hone in on is Opendoor, guys. I'm not gonna make this a very complicated explanation, but this data will blow you away. First, let's start off with what Opendoor is. Opendoor buys homes directly from consumers as an alternative to traditional home selling process, using algorithms to price the homes in what it says is a faster and more convenient process. What is Opendoor doing? Opendoor is buying these homes, guys. They're fixing them up and flipping them back to consumers, saying, look, here we have this nice, shiny, brand new home that we took and flipped. And they think that they could just go into the market and buy massive amounts of home and flip them too. But you would think that a corporation would understand that you can't do this forever, and that using AI to determine what's a good home to buy and how to kind of like, I don't know, time the market won't work out in your best interest. So let's look at the numbers to find out how Opendoor is about to go bankrupt. And a massive amount of properties will then hit the market. Let's first start off with the income. So Opendoor makes its money by selling homes and providing a service to individuals to sell homes, but they also make majority of their money from flipping homes. They buy homes and then flip it. So here's the interesting part of this whole situation with Opendoor. Opendoor does not have the money in a pot to buy a home. It uses leverage traditional financing to do this. They get to leverage 80 to 90% for each home purchase. And then when they sell the fix and flip property, then they have to give that whole 80 to 90% balance back to their lender. But here's the funny thing about Opendoor, guys. And like, once again, this is not a detailed breakdown, but let's look at the numbers here. So Opendoor has these expenses: $620 million in general expenses, $544 million in sales, $134 million in technology and development, which comes to about $1.2 billion, right? So how many homes does Opendoor need to break even, guys, to break even? Now, in this report, Opendoor does say they make about a $22,000 average profit on each home that they sell when they flip it. So that means that they have to fix and flip 56,000 and some change when it comes to homes, guys. Now, let me repeat that. 56,000 homes they have to fix and flip. But here is the caveat, guys. Every 1% that the interest rate goes up, they have to pay $40 million. $40 million, guys. You heard me right. $40 million for every 1% that they go up. Now, I know what you guys are thinking.
Oh, these guys have $40 million easy.
Nope. Opendoor's annual losses for 2021 is $662 million, guys. $662 million of losses. To make up for the $40 million that the interest rate goes up, they have to sell an additional 2,000 homes for that. So with the interest rate continuing to go up, down, up, that's where we're seeing up. They are losing money hand over fist. A company that is losing $662 million, additional every 1% for $40 million. And then here's the other point. They're overpaying for the houses. So not only will they be losing the money in the interest rate, but they will also be losing equity value. So Zillow did the same exact thing, and they lost just under $1 trillion, guys. $1 trillion. Let that sink in. And they dumped houses back onto the market. The same thing is going to happen with Opendoor. And they thought that they were just going to tweak it just a little bit and do the home flipping, and they were going to come out on top. But I think we might see Opendoor throw a bunch of properties on the market. And even if we don't see that, and we see them throw a fraction of those properties back onto the market, the mom and pop home flippers, not the ones who knew what they were doing, but the first timers, they will throw a ton of properties back on the market. So get ready, guys, get ready. Hopefully you got value out of this content. I'm gonna need you to watch this next video here. It will help you learn about everything that's going on in this crazy housing market. Also get into your first rental property. Check in the description below. I have join our membership program, and I have some useful links there to get free credit report and whatnot. See you on the next one. one. Thanks.